Nigeria is a country in West Africa and is the most populated country in Africa. South Africa is located in the southern part of Africa and is the sixth most populated country in Africa. In this video, I want to look at the economic component of the two biggest economies in Africa. I am referring to South Africa and Nigeria. One of the most important metrics of a country's economy is gross domestic product, GDP. In terms of GDP, Nigeria's economy is the biggest economy in Africa, while South Africa's is the second biggest. The difference in the two countries' GDP isn't a lot. In fact, there was a time when South Africa's economy was bigger than that of Nigeria. GDP do change from time to time due to various factors. These two countries are the biggest player in the African continent economy. South Africa's GDP per capita is higher than that of Nigeria. GDP per capita measures a country's economic output per person and is calculated by dividing the GDP of a country by its population. Like most countries in the world, Nigeria and South Africa generate some revenue from taxes like income tax, capital gain tax, value-added tax, also known as VAT, and other forms of taxes. The tax to GDP ratio is the ratio of the tax revenue of a country compared to the country's gross domestic product, GDP. Nigeria's tax to GDP ratio is one of the lowest in the world. It is about 8%, while comparators are in the neighborhood of about 15 to 25%. Even in Africa, Nigeria surely needs to do better. South Africa's tax to GDP ratio is around 26%. About 70% of Nigeria's revenue comes from crude oil. Nigeria is the fifth largest producer of crude oil in the world, while South Africa is the 10th largest producer of gold in the world. South Africa's major exports are mostly solid mineral resources, and they have abundance of mineral resources. This is the reason why mining is a very important part of South Africa's economy, just the way crude oil is very important to Nigeria's economy. Currently, about 8% of Nigeria's spending goes to education, while for South Africa it is about 16%. For healthcare, about 5% of Nigeria's budget goes to healthcare, while for South Africa they allocate around 13% of their budget to healthcare. The stock market usually is one of the most important parts of a country's economy. Both South Africa and Nigeria do have active stock exchange. A stock exchange is a centralized location that brings companies and government so that investors can buy and sell equities. Simply put, the stock market gives individuals and organizations opportunity to own a piece of companies listed on a stock exchange. This is usually through purchase of stock and shares. South Africa's stock exchange is Johannesburg Stock Exchange (JSE) and it is located in Sandton. Sandton is a financial center of Johannesburg. Nigeria's stock exchange, also known as Nigeria Exchange Group, is located in Lagos. Nigeria Stock Exchange was established in 1961, while Johannesburg Stock Exchange was established in 1887. While the number of companies listed on both stock exchanges do change from time to time, there are more companies listed on South Africa's exchange than Nigeria's. There are approximately 336 companies listed on Johannesburg Stock Exchange, while there are about 156 companies listed on the Nigeria Stock Exchange. Market capitalization is often used to measure the value of stock exchanges. It is a representation of the performance of the economy. The figure do change from time to time depending on what is happening in the market. However, South Africa's stock exchange is significantly valued more than Nigeria's stock exchange. The total market value of all companies trading on Johannesburg Stock Exchange is about 1.3 trillion US. For Nigeria Stock Exchange, the total market value of all companies trading on Nigeria Stock Exchange is about 67 billion US. South Africa has 6 major commercial ports: Durban, Richards Bay, Cape Town, Sandhar Bay, Port Elizabeth, and East London. According to the Nigerian Port Authority (NPA), the country has 6 seaports: Apapa and Tinkan in Lagos, the One and Port Harcourt Port in Rivers State, the Warri Port, and the Calabar Port. But by many accounts, only the Lagos ports are operating anywhere near full capacity. South Africa generates around 2.7 billion US in the tourism sector. This corresponds to about 0.65% of its gross domestic product. South Africa is one of the most visited countries in Africa. Over the years, tourism has contributed about $1.5 billion to the Nigerian economy, which was scarcely about 0.3% of the total GDP. Tourism represents economic, social, and technological opportunities for Nigeria. For both South Africa and Nigeria, the revenue generated from tourism dropped largely due to global pandemic. Agriculture had contributed around 2.5% of the GDP of South Africa, whereas industry and services had contributed 26.4% and 64.5% of the total value added respectively. Agriculture remains the largest sector in Nigeria, contributing an average of 24% to the nation's GDP over the past 7 years. 28% came from industry and 46% from the service sector.